Okay, friends, so we are still moving forward talking about, if you're losing some of your range of motion, mobility in your shoulder, whether that's due to frozen shoulder syndrome, or if you haven't got it diagnosed, but you just know you're starting to have that issue of mobility, or you can't move it above the shoulder line, those kinds of things. There's pinching of nerves. Last video I talked about finding an upright posture. You might go back and look at that one. But so today we're going to add a little bit of weight bearing, right? But before we bear weight, I want to look at the position of the arms and the shoulders and then come down and bear weight. So we're standing up nice and tall, right? Mountain pose. We talked about putting the weight back in the heels, and already, for most of us anyway, if we put the weight back in the heels, suddenly we start to line up shoulders over ears over hips over heels, something like that anyway, right? We all have so many different things going on in the body. Be gentle with yourself, do what you can with your body. Now go ahead and take your shoulders. I don't want you to lift them up to their full capacity, but lift them up about an inch or so, and then move them back a little bit, and then let the shoulder blades kind of settle down and just a little in. Now with anything I say, you can take it to an extreme. If you just did that, you're not benefiting your spine at all, right? So keep the spine long. Don't let that distortion come into that mid-thoracic as you do that. And then from there, you're going to bring your arms down by your side. And I'm going to talk about the eye of the elbow. That's that right there. I want you to go ahead and turn your thumbs out and turn your thumbs out until your eye of your elbow starts to move forward towards the front of the room. Right? And just find that place. And if you go a little beyond that, that's okay for right now for what we're doing, right? You can rotate even further if you want to. But I want you to notice that when you do and that arm bone rotates, right, those shoulders move back and down, and we start to move even deeper into that alignment I've been talking about with the neutral spine and the neutral upper body, right? And then from there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to bring that into weight bearing so that we can start to bear some weight in the shoulder without causing any more damage, right? So from there, come down onto hands and knees. You can always put a blanket under your knees if your knees need a little padding, right? Now I'm going to actually turn towards you for a moment. Right? So my hands are down. I'm going to turn my fingers out just a little bit so my index fingers point forward. If you are in pain, you should not be doing this. If you're in the freezing section of frozen shoulder syndrome, this might not be the move for you, right? This is where, depending on where you are in your healing. So now from there, I want you to go ahead and I want you to see if you can move your shoulders up to the ears a little bit, move them up to the ceiling a little bit. We're in a different position of gravity, right? Move them down towards the buttocks and reach the chest forward. Right? Hopefully, as you do that and you look a little forward, now we have the same alignment we just had on our feet and our spine. For good measure, push your shins down, move your thighs into an imaginary block, and hopefully the corset just turned on. Now keep that, right? And now the eyes of the elbows, without moving your hands this time, I want you to see if you can get your eyes of the elbows to move forward towards the front side of that mat or imaginary mat that you're on. And just notice when you rotate those shoulders, those humerus bones, sorry, how the shoulders kind of sit in their sockets a little bit deeper, yeah? Now one more motion to add a little bit of strength. I want you to imagine that you're going to rip your mat apart without moving. You're on a sticky mat, right? So the hands don't actually move, but I want you to rotate your left hand towards the left and your right hand towards the right. And as you do that, your upper arms just turned on, right? Your latissimus dorsi, there's a few different muscles that just turned on. But all of it should hopefully keep those upper traps out of it. You still have a really long spine. You're bearing weight without pain in the shoulder girdle and hopefully breathing, right? Building a little bit of strength to try to keep that A, alignment, and B, some strength in that shoulder while it's going through this hard time, we'll say, right? And then go ahead and just simply sit back onto the heels. If that's not available, come back up to standing and just pause. Hopefully, wherever you are, you don't immediately go back into that rounded position. If you do, just notice that. Try to come out of it. And then, start to notice that more and more and more and see what role that plays in the issues, we'll call it, in the issues in your shoulder. They're very related, usually. Bring those hands together in front of your heart. Inhale. And bowing in. We say namaste with so much gratitude for these beautiful bodies that we have, even when they talk to us because they're in pain.